In the City of London in 2014, the turnout was about 37%. It sent 8 MEPs to the European Parliament, 2 Conservatives, 1 Green, 4 Lib Dems and 1 UKIP.
Yes, I join you from the City of London. Now, this was the local authority area back in 2016 that gave its first result for London, and that result was 75% to remain in the European Union. And that was pretty much reflected in many of the London boroughs throughout that night. And if you look at London as a whole, only 5 of the 33 local authorities areas in London actually voted to leave the European Union. It was 60-40 for Remain here in London. And so that issue of Brexit, although of course European Parliament elections are not just about that, but that issue has been something that's been very much at the fore of what people are talking about here. When you go and ask them how they'll be voting, it's very much on the side of, were you a Remainer or were you a Leaver back in 2016. And so that for the main political parties is a serious issue, because in London there are 4 MEPs for Labour currently. The Conservatives have 2. You've got 1 for UKIP and 1 for the Liberal Democrats. 1 for the Green Party. The Liberal Democrats lost their seat last time round. And so for Labour it's a real challenge, because a lot of Labour voters don't really understand their position on Brexit. And then for the Tory voters, certainly in parts of West London who are Tory Remainers, are quite concerned about the Conservatives' position, and so are perhaps looking at switching or perhaps not turning out to vote. And then you have UKIP. Now UKIP's leader, Gerard Batten, is actually the London UKIP MEP, and there's suggestions that perhaps UKIP could lose their only seat here in London. Then you've got the Green Party, who, as well as the Brexit issue, have also been buoyed by this whole issue of climate change. We've had those huge climate change protests in London, and so they're hoping that that will mean that they pick up another seat potentially. And then I think the big winners really on the Remain side could potentially be the Liberal Democrats, because as I say, they lost their seat last time round. They're looking to pick up and really build on the momentum that they've had since the local elections a few weeks ago. And then you've got the Brexit Party, which is likely perhaps to pick up some of those UKIP supporters, but could they pick up Tory supporters as well? What's not clear is what will happen with Change UK. At the moment, they're not polling enough to get that 9% that you need in order to get a seat here in London, but they'll be hoping that, I suppose, people's knowledge of who they are might actually help them out. And they've got a key candidate standing, who's Gavin Esler, who people watching this show will know about because he used to be a BBC presenter.
Thank you very much, Susanna Mendonça in central London.